Thursday, May the 26th, 2022. Tonight, our invocation will be given by Ralph Lopez. I will give our invocation, and I will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Surprise.
Let's bow our head, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for letting us be here today, Lord, to do the work of the city. We ask you to guide our words and guide our thoughts. Just help us to do work that's pleasing to you, Lord. Thank you for bringing us here safely, Lord, and we ask for your blessings as we leave here. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Moya?
Here.
Commissioner Guerrero?
Here.
Commissioner Arias?
Here.
Commissioner Cherry?
Here.
Mayor Litchfield?
Here. Are there any considerations of changes or deletions to the agenda?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with the addition of removing item 7A.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, I think, so, okay. Roll call, please. I don't know.
Second. I think, Commissioner Guerrero?
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Commissioner Cherry?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Moya?
all right. Next is public comments, and I don't believe we have any tonight. So, next on the agenda is the consent agenda, and it's approved by a single motion. Any member of the commission may request an item be transferred to the regular agenda from the consent agenda without discussion or vote. And we would be approving the special work session notes for May 5th, the special commission meeting for May 5th, and the approval of regular commission meeting minutes for May 12th. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Commissioner Cherry?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Moya?
Yep.
Commissioner Guerrero?
Yes.
Okay, next is proclamations, memorials, or petitions. And
I'm sorry, I need
That's
to delete that, but we don't have
We
any.
don't have any tonight, so we will go right on.
Sorry about that.
Bids and contracts. I guess under proclamations, I would like to congratulate all the area seniors. So I can do that under my comments too, I guess. Anyway. Next, under bids and contracts is proposal for the old Tucumcari landfill from Park Hill.
Yes, ma'am, I'll be presenting that. This is our annual contract we have with the engineer that conducts the monitoring for our old landfill. It also, the next items for the new landfill. This is something that we have to do. It's a state requirement. This is always part of our budget that we always account for this in advance. It does go up a little bit each year, but it's pretty self-explanatory. This is something that we have to do. They had been our engineer on contract. We go out for RFP, and at this point, I would respectfully ask for your approval.
Is there any discussion or questions?
Are we looking at this old landfill at the 104 area?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
How long do we have to monitor it?
I believe it's 25 years is what we're obligated.
And what year are we in?
I am not sure, but I can find that out. But it's something we have to do. We're obligated.
No, I understand that. You know, we got the methane gas and everything, stuff you got to monitor.
Anyone else?
In terms of the old landfill, Mark, is there anything that we could do with that property in the meantime? Or does it have to remain?
It has to remain a landfill until you've met your obligation to completely close it up.
Sorry, I just brought up another question, if you don't mind. Is there still some hazmat? Was that perk still?
I have no clue.
Okay, well, they did report it to you then, I guess if it was still
We typically,
contaminated or whatever.
so what we go through and do internally is methane, like Commissioner Moya said, or Mayor Pro Tem Moya. But this is more groundwater monitoring, so they'll go through to the wells and they make sure that all the chemicals, all those elements and whatnot listed per NMED, they test for those, and if it's,
Do you get that report also?
I do, yes, sir, I do.
Just for the heck of it, just ask them if there is any more of that contamination out there. They're just curious to know.
Anything specific? I mean, is it a certain?
Yeah, PERC, it's a cleaning agent.
Okay.
Any others? I would entertain a motion to approve proposal for the old chicken carry landfill from Park Hill.
And for record purposes, can we have the amount of the contract?
Yes,
please?
the amount for the old landfill is $22,800 plus tax, which comes out to a total of $24,552.75.
So move, Madam Mayor.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Terry,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Wyatt,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Okay, now it's the proposal for the new chicken carry landfill.
Yes, ma'am, this is the same thing. These are for the ground water monitoring wells out at the new landfill. And again, they conduct all of the sampling, they submit the reports to NMED and handle any kind of non-compliance issues. We've always been in compliance. Some of the readings are high on our maximum limits, but it's not due to our landfill, it's due to pre-existing conditions out at the new landfill. So we always pass if we are in compliance. And this contract is $36,000, and with tax, it comes out to $38,767.50.
And I don't have any stories on this one.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions, comments? I entertain a motion to accept the proposal for the new chicken carry landfill.
Madam Mayor, make a motion that we approve the proposal for the new chicken carry landfill.
Roll call, please. Oh, I have a second? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Y'all take turns.
Yeah.
All right. Roll call, please.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Wyatt.
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Commissioner Terry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next is Airport Fuel Farm, New Mexico Department of Transportation Construction Agreement, and Ralph Lopez will be handling that one.
Good evening, Mayor Commissioners. We finally got a grant to redo the fuel system at the airport. It's a state-only grant. It's 100% funded from the NMDOT Aviation Division. This agreement covers the cost that was estimated at the time that we applied for it. We're finding out now it's going to be a little bit short, but we did get 100% grant for the total of $1,300,000 for this from NMDOT. So I'd stand for questions and I'd ask for your approval, please.
Any questions, comments?
So actually, what did you say this is gonna cover?
This builds a complete new fuel farm. It's a standalone fuel farm that's completely independent of the old tank and pump system that we have out there. There'll be no underground lines or anything. This thing is all on skids. It's got the fuel tanks that we use. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 is AV gas and one other for sure. It's got the pump filling station, and then it's also got a card reader where they can pay themselves. It's pretty well a self-service island now.
How much is that airport utilized? I know we've done a lot of,
It's used quite a bit.
Yeah.
is it,
Mhm.
and what type of profits or anything comes out of there?
That I don't know,
You
sir.
know, that's something we should look at, getting some answers. If we're selling that much fuel, we need to know where we're at with that revenue. Last I looked, it shows above budget.
Correct. We're making a small profit. It's not a huge amount, but we are making profit. Overall, the overall budget for the airports, we're pretty close to a deficit, but when it comes to fuel sales, we always end up on the.
Well, that's the whole idea. We're doing budgets now, and what I'd like to see is, are we in the deficit with there for the employees and everything that we have to pay up there, and versus what we're recuperating from there?
It's pretty close to a deficit. We'll be discussing that during.
I'll get me some numbers.
We'll have that next meeting in June when we discuss the budget.
If I may ask one question there.
Yes.
So Mr. Lopez, I know we're doing a lot of work out there. So what's the further, is there further construction that we're gonna be looking at out there in the airport?
Yeah, we just had a bid opening today for the 826 runway rehab project too, and our bid was good. It was in the money we have, so we'll probably start construction on that within a month, so.
And further than that, is there other improvements that need to be made out there or?
The most recent one to that was the 321. We just resurfaced the 321 runway, and prior to that, we did all the taxiways. They made us actually remove one. We had one that was non-compliant and not necessary according to FAA. So we've done quite a bit out there. And this fuel one, we've been under mandate to get this fixed. Our old system is, well, they changed the rules and made it out of spec. So it's been on the verge of being red tagged for about 2 years now. But it took us that long. Federal won't fund the fuel farm, so this had to be a state-only grant. So there was a lot of grants for other stuff that's coming down, even COVID grants, but none of them would do the fuel farm. So we were real lucky to get this one. The engineers really pressed the
Sounds like we're pretty
DOT for
close.
it.
Sounds like we're pretty close to having a whole new airport.
It's getting there. We still have lots in the future too. We still need a snow removal building, a snow removal equipment building, a few things that are they have their own CIP that's separate from the cities. And we work on it with the federal government and with FAA and with the state aviation division, so.
Thank you. I was wondering if there was more further projects needed.
There's quite a few on the list. Some of them I don't know that we'll get to. There's a long-range plan to extend runway 826, but it would actually involve more land purchase, and all the environmental stuff, and it's really not necessary. It's not the heavy use runway, and it keeps getting pushed back. I don't think FAA, it's high on their thing, but we still need some paving to do around right around the airport there. A bunch of little projects like that, and I say little, they're all multi-million-dollar projects, but they fund them really well. We hardly ever have to pay over a 5% match, and lately we've been getting almost 100% match, so, or 100% grant.
You said it would involve purchasing land. We have 200 acres right next to it. Why couldn't they
But not in
buy
the right
some of it?
place. Yeah, this one would extend it to the east, and we don't own all of the area. They actually not only have to have the land that the runway is built on, but we also have to have a clearance zone ahead of the runway that we have to own, and we don't have enough land for that, so.
Okay, we only have the 200 acres, we said, it's in the east part.
Yeah, there's a lot of land, but it's not wide enough to do what they want to do.
Or smaller.
Thank you.
Did you have a question?
No, he
Anyone
answered
else? Do you have a question?
it. No, Mayor.
I would entertain a motion to approve the construction agreement for the airport fuel farm.
I'll make the deal for the airport farm.
Okay,
Second.
roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Ganova,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes,
Commissioner Cherry,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
Next on the agenda is action item under new business regarding the EDC contract. We had a presentation during work session on it. So if you will look in the notes, you'll see the contract
Yeah.
and what they were asking. I'll entertain some discussion.
yes, Mayor, if I may.
Okay,
I do like the study that was done with the EDC, with the Create Bridges. I'm glad to see that tied up. I am glad to see the progress that has been made. I know we received the update a few weeks ago, and I think we're moving in the right direction there. The proposed contract is asking for a 4-year contract in the amount of in a total of $272,000. That's including the rental of the portion of the building that they're utilizing. I would like us to reconsider that, the term and the cost.
What is your recommendation, Commissioner? I guess, what are we looking at?
I know last year we did a 1-year contract with $30,000. I would like to see that again.
And we would still pay the rent, the utilities in the,
Correct, supported, separate.
Yes, ma'am.
anybody else?
I don't have anything except why do we do the 1 year? Just so we have a performance plan?
Yes, sir, just to shorten that out, and that way we can reassess every year. Like I said, I do like the progress I'm seeing. I would like some more, I would like to see quarterly updates, I guess, in the contract. I would like to see that, just to provide the public with some more information in terms of what the agency is performing at. I would like to add that into the contract as well.
Okay, so that's good that you're seeing improvements on it. And I think that was the whole concept last year when we made the motion, the whole thing to give it a year, see what kind of improvement. And actually, if you look at it, if it shows good progress again, next year, we'll go, increase or whatever, then we discuss about it.
Right.
It's hard right now because we just got out of the corona, let's go.
Yeah, and so I think the yearly amount was 58,000 plus the rent, so shortening that down to the 30, I believe is more feasible.
38? or
30.
30.
Yes, ma'am. And I would make a motion to that effect, with the 30,000 for 1 year, with the addition, if it's suitable with the EDC, of the quarterly updates.
Instead of, okay.
Instead of 58.
Any other discussion?
Okay, so we're amending this, it says 38,000 with 1 year, right?
30,000,
30,000.
1 year,
Yeah, you said
quarterly
30.
updates.
Quarterly. Okay.
And then we would still pay the
Yeah, the whole,
Well,
the supporting
utilities and everything.
services, or whatever you want to call it.
Correct.
So the motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll go ahead and second it, Mayor.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Canova?
Yes.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Commissioner Terry?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Webb?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is city manager's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I was pointing out something to Commissioner Otis real quick. It's already in the contract that there's quarterly updates,
Oh, okay.
so there's no need to
No,
have an
no.
addition.
Okay.
Thank you.
The first thing I'd like to do is give an update on the pool. We discussed this in the work session, but for those that might not have watched or tuned in, I want to let everybody know that we are working on this. Just as recent as yesterday, I talked with our Parks and Recs director, who has reached out to multiple pool companies, anywhere from Amarillo to Lubbock to Albuquerque. And there's one that's confirmed to come through and evaluate the pool, its current state and current options, if it's feasible or not for us to be able to make repairs or not, or take another route. The pool will not be open for 2022, and we'll leave it at that. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. The next thing I wanted to discuss was the city offices will be closed in observance of Memorial Day on Monday, May 30th. All city offices will be closed. I also wanted to let everybody know that June 4th, we'll be having a rabies clinic, Quake County Rabies Clinic. So there'll be locations nearby, so Logan sent home, but specifically here in Tucumcari, it'll be held at our city warehouse, 302 West Center. Also on that day, on June 4th, is the Piñata Festival. I wanted to invite the community to attend that. For information, please reach out to the Chamber of Commerce. I also wanted to thank some of our local staff. Everybody does an amazing job throughout the city, but specifically, I wanted to thank Ralph Lopez for his hard work. He's spread thin out there at community development. And as you can see with his work and effort, another $1.3 million coming in for the airport. And I want to caution the community that it's hard. Not all grant funds are created equal. We're lucky that this is 100%. And there is a lot more grant funding that goes around for our airports. So thanks, Ralph, and all that you do community development as well. Also wanted to congratulate the area seniors, but specifically those graduating from Tucumcari. So congratulations on your future. And we have plenty of opportunities here at the city of Tucumcari if you're interested. I also wanted to congratulate Jacob Thurman. He is our new HR director. He's been doing a great job. I look forward to working with him. So congratulations to him on the position. And also congratulations to Cassie Huffman and those involved. A few of us were able to attend the ribbon cutting for that new business. So congrats. And the last thing I wanted to discuss, which I think is probably the most important, is yesterday I was able to have a meeting at the county with the county manager and the ombudsman for the state through DFA. And we're able to voice some concerns that we have, not only through the county, but also the city specifically. I brought up some things, and she was very helpful and let me know that there's actually going to be some money available that will be coming down for recreation purposes. The one thing that I expressed is we need grant opportunities with minimum to no match. That's where the rural communities really thrive. So she was doing a tour of the EPCOG region with Sandy Chansey from EPCOG. And we were explaining she's focused, and there's a lot of grant funding specifically for rural communities where Albuquerque, Santa Fe, they have the GRT, they have alternate sources to help fund their projects. So I really sold some of our bigger needs. The county's needs was the hospital, talks of trying to plan and design and construct a new hospital. And ours were infrastructure based. And I also gave some ideas on smaller projects, recreation center, the pool. And she stated when it comes to infrastructure, the funding agencies are looking for projects that are over $1 million, which I told her that's easy. We can do that. So as long as there's not a hefty match that comes along with that. But there's a lot of good grants. We exchange contact information. She'll be in contact with me. So I look forward to hearing from her, and she's going to really help us and guide us through what's available for us. And it was a great meeting. That was probably the best meeting I've had within the last 2 weeks. So excited to really hear of the future grant funding that will be coming down the line as it's released. And she's helping provide documentation to guide us to make it an easier process because it's so convoluted with these federal funds coming down. But I'll leave it at that. Appreciate you all, and have a safe and fun Memorial weekend.
Okay, thank you. All right, next on the agenda is items from Commissioner. Commissioner Arias, I'll start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, want to wish everyone a safe weekend. Not do anything crazy. Second of all, Mark, I didn't get a chance to visit you before the meeting, but if we can get together, there's some work orders I'd like to get put in. Or if we have some time later this week to visit on that. And because I didn't get a chance to visit with you before the meeting, did we get an answer on Maple and Second Street North Second?
Maple and North Second, not an answer other than what we talked about it being blocked off because I still need to determine whether that's NMDOT right away or city right away.
Thank you. If you can look into that and get back with me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Cherry?
Just a couple of things. Number one is the veterans riders that came through here Friday.
Oh, I've got that plaque in my car. I forgot to bring it in.
Well, anyway, I want to thank the Volunteer Firefighters Association. They got out and put out flags along T Boulevard. That was the big thanks to them. And then real quick, Mark, when was the last time we had a strategic plan? Do you know? Is it?
I'm not aware, since I've been around and involved with this, that I've heard of one, honestly.
Okay, or a road audit, street audit?
Street audit's been many, many, many years ago. I actually have the copy, and I'd say early 2000s.
So during budget time, let's look at those two items, if you mind. And that's all I have. Just everybody have a good weekend.
And I would like for next to Commissioner Moya, I'm writing myself notes. Or Mayor Pro Tem Moya.
Listen, I heard that the building on Second and Main has become my pet peeve, really heavy. I know that the judge is giving him 6 months to do something with it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, to my understanding.
Once that, I don't know, it's been already 3 months or so. So once that's expired, we're gonna have to see what the city is gonna do. That's our responsibility. Because we can have permanently half of the Second Street towards the railroad locked and closed all the time. I mean, we're really taking a chunk of land that belongs to the citizens and isolating them for their safety due to the fact that somebody doesn't want to comply with the building code that building has collapsed. So we're gonna have to do something about it, once this expiration is completed. So that's something that we really have to stay on top of it once the judge order has expired. The other thing, and I asked you last meeting, I'm gonna ask you again, what's the progress on that ambulance?
It's up and running. It was actually, I talked with interim Chief Mackey, and it was actually up and running that night. I just hadn't had a chance to ask him for an update.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Is it working good?
Yes.
So what are we looking at the ambulances?
As far as
How many?
how many? I believe we have 4 that are operational and another one sitting on standby.
Have we returned the one sent home?
I believe so, yes. That's been done for quite some time.
Are we gonna be looking at hoping to get another new one and start up to now, since it takes 2 years to get one?
Hoping to, but not completely optimistic. We've tried different grant opportunities and they've been unsuccessful. But again, speaking with Ms. Sasser, the ombudsman, she stated that there's some more grant funding coming down and that's a possibility. It's not guaranteed, but we're still looking into pursuing other ambulances. Yes, that's correct.
So how our ambulance, are they in good service,
Yes,
good standard?
Yes.
They can make out of town trips?
yes.
We don't have to do the line thing? Are we doing a lot more transportation? Because we do for everybody around here.
We are. Our newest ambulance already has 30,000 miles on it.
Wow. Good to see that. The other thing I'd like to point to the commission, I think that ordinance that we have for at-will employees that was repealed, I think we have to look at it again, because actually the at-will part is very important, especially when we have difficulty with somebody in one department that's not functioning right, or doing well and can. So when can we start looking at that ordinance and putting it on the work session? Because if we, I have learned in this commission that if we don't set a time for things, then it doesn't happen. It's just forecasting.
Considering the fact that June's going to be busy mostly with budget discussion, I would say pushing that back to at least July.
I think we need a little before that. I think we do. We have a city manager to hire. We have a chief of police, that is not yet hired. And I think we need to straighten this mess right away. This should have never been repealed, but I don't know who was in charge of that.
This was years ago. It was an ordinance in the 900, I want to say 960 something, but I don't remember.
66, I believe.
It's been a while back.
In the 60s.
No, because we had it in the 80s.
Oh,
We had it in the 80s. When I left in 94, it was still active. And now that the last time I looked into it, it had been repealed, and certainly we need to make sure that we do bring it up before we get the next city manager or other department heads that should be under this act.
So we can do this as soon as you like. We just may have to have a longer work session because budget's the main part. We're mandated. We have to get that in.
No, I understand that, but I also understand the necessity for this. We're hiring people, we're doing things, and if we don't have this in ordinance, they're going to be grandfathered in. That's not very smart. And the other thing, Madam Mayor, I'd like to continue on the work session next time to put in the discussion regarding the streets, because I think we need to.
me too, yeah.
That's a conversation that the citizens of Tucumcari have brought constantly here. And we try to do the best we can. And I like to be able to see if somehow or other, I don't have the time, but Senator Campos was very instrumental and has a very good contact with the DOT department and stuff like that. And now that the state is furnishing a lot of infrastructure money and other types of money that's coming down the pipeline, I'd like to be able to get some of the city staff to work with Senator Campos and others to see where we can get grants. Because our streets at this point are deteriorating so rapid because we're not keeping up with the maintenance. And it's not that we're not keeping up with the maintenance because we want to, it's because we don't have the revenue to be able to do that infrastructure part.
So Mayor, we do have over $1 million of grant funding through NMDOT. We're just going through the process, engineering, plan design, and then construction. And when it comes to upkeep of streets, I want to again make the commission and the public aware, we are down to one person in our streets department right now that's dedicated solely to streets. The others I have our street superintendent that's actually having to fill in at the scout house, at the landfill. We are spread thin. If we are down due to, say, a sanitation truck driver is sick or needs time off, either the superintendent or the assistant will fill in. So we are down to one individual right now to be dedicated for streets.
Okay.
So
And that's
please be
okay.
patient with this. when it
No,
comes to
no, I am
workers.
being patient about that. What I'm saying is, let's look for grants, let's look for money, so that we can go out and bid and have contract people do some of our work. We don't have to depend on just the street people who already are swamped with work. But if we get grants and we get other things, we can start addressing some of our streets that are really bad. They're very dilapidated. And a lot of it is because the maintenance has not been kept on a good scale. And now we're gonna have to look for money or grant to be able to come back and see what we're gonna do about fixing those streets. Look at the one in front of that funeral home, man, you can't even go through there. And stuff like that. It's not even in my district. I was up in the south part of town, there was some nasty streets up there, you know. Out here, by the Lake Street, there's nothing but bumps. There's no street, so that's what I'm talking about. Let's see what kind of grants we get so that we can actually go out, like we're doing with the airport. We have all kinds of grants, we can go out and hire contractors to do. That's what I'm talking about. Get with Senator Compost, see what's available, and stop procrastinating. Thank you.
I don't believe we're procrastinating. I
I
think,
think we are, it's been so long, I
Okay.
even forgot the directions.
Okay, Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes, I've got a few things. I've been getting complaints about kids hanging out at the old parties building. I guess they're leaving a lot of trash out there.
Okay,
I don't know what we can do.
they're parking there at night.
Yeah, parking at night, there's loud music. I don't know what we can do about it.
Any suggestions?
it's been reported.
Okay.
They do move them from there when they're, but, I'll ask them to make sure they clean up their mess.
All right,
And like I said, I just wanna congratulate all our high school students for graduation. Thank our employees, Ralph, you guys are doing a good job with our planning. That's really about it, man.
okay. Now, I again would like to mention that the volunteer firefighters did put out all the flags along the boulevard today that the motorcycles came to, and I do appreciate that. And I have written a thank you. So, there you go. Congratulations to all of our graduates from kindergarten all the way up. So, there's a lot of kindergartners too. I did have a meeting with several businesses on 66, and they had talked about a lot of their visitors that come through and everything. Talk about all the blight on 66, like the relax in and some of that. I visited with Mark about that, and I'm hoping there's something we can start getting done because, to be honest, Route 66 is our bread and butter in the summer. So, we need to keep it clean too, so. Congratulations, like you say, to Cassie Huffman, she turned Dr. Saltz's building into a beautiful new place, so it's wonderful. Pinata Festival coming up, everybody get prepared. Other than that, everybody please have a safe Memorial Day weekend, and remember your loved ones on Memorial Day. So, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Nobody wants to adjourn? Oh, okay. And a second, okay. I'm going, roll call.
Sorry about that.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Commissioner Terry? Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Webb?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Travel and be safe on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Walk down 316.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing.